Hello, my name is Willie Easter Jr., and this is Easter Data Dream Films and Books coming at you. Peace. Uh, by now, I think everyone who's been affected by the James Ryals and HireRight Solutions cases received one of these postcard checks in the mail. And a lot of people are wondering, is this for real or not? It is a real check from a real settlement, from a case that was closed or came to a conclusion in December of 2011. I think the final date was December, but they had a fairness hearing on November the 3rd. They were trying to determine was the settlement actually fair, and I think there was a lot of people who didn't realize what they had because they originally sent out a notice. I think probably the last part of July or August of 2011, and if you received this notice right here in the mail, I'll bring it up to you so you can see it. I'll blow it open a little bit, but if you receive this notice in the mail, and this is what it originally said. This is what it originally said. It originally said, a federal court ordered this notice. This is not a solicitation from a lawyer. The United States District Court, Eastern District of Virginia, Richmond Division. James Ryals Jr., plaintiff, versus HireRight Solutions and Company, defendant. Now, what it was a class action lawsuit against HireRight Solutions, formerly known as USIS Commercial Services. And I'll read this part again. It said, a settlement has been proposed in a class action lawsuit against HireRight Solutions and Company, formerly USIS Commercial Services and Company, Explore Information Services, Investigative Services. That's just a couple of names they went under at the time. Then you get on to the next part. It says, on behalf of consumers who on or after October 5th, 2004, but on or before October 15th, 2010, were the subject of an employment background check that contained negative public record information such as criminal or traffic arrests, charge or convictions, civil judgment, bankruptcy, or liens. Now, when you break past all that legal talk, what they're really saying is that HireRight Solutions, formerly known as USIS Commercial Services, took background information from individuals who had background records, and they sold this information to prospective employers. And they sent this notice, I think either the last of, depending on where you live at, you probably received it the last of July of 2011, and somewhere around August, I posted a video of 2011 entitled Easterj, a federal court-ordered notice. And at the time I posted it, got very, very little interest. But now, I think a lot of people have started getting these now infamous postcard check thingies. And that's what it looks like. So I just tore the picture off. Now, I think a couple of people asked, was it real? It is real. But if you read down at the very bottom where it says authorized signature, it says for deposit only. You'll find it right there on my finger. It says for deposit only. You can only deposit the check into a savings account, checking account. Because I ventured out on Wednesday to see if anyone actually cashed it. I pretty much knew they wouldn't cash it, but you have to go and try anyway. That's how you learn things. You ask for information and you try it. I went to Walmart just to see what they transferred over to my checking account. They said no, they don't do that. Then I went to this check cashing place. Now on the wall it said they would deposit certain things into your checking account, but you have to go through their services. You can't go in there and have your own checking account set up. You have to go through their services in order for them to deposit into your checking account. Moving on. It is a real check. The reason why you received this check is because your background information was sold to prospective employers. If you had a hard time in the last couple of years or in the recent couple of months getting a job, that was the reason why. If you had a criminal background record, this check is supposed to be compensation from illegal activity that HireRight Solutions done at the time by selling your background and criminal record information to prospective employers without you knowing about it, against your permission. That is against the Federal Credit Reporting Act. It's against the law for them to do it. And I've received a lot of comments on the 2 videos I put up about the case and the settlement. And I want to thank all of you guys. You placed a lot of intelligent comments there. I want to thank you for that. But I know a lot of people didn't know where this shit came from. A lot of people said, what is it for? Well, if you receive this in the mail around July or August of 2011, this was a court order notice to inform you that it was going to court. And you had the option at that time to either object to the settlement or exclude yourself from the classes. Now, if you receive this check, mine was $65.18. Some people got $18.96. Some people got $11. Some people got $155. Some got $134, depending on which class you're in. Now, there were 2 different classes. You have the 1681 I class, which probably got more. And you had the 1681K class, which was the class I was in. You got less. In order not to receive this check, you had to exclude yourself from it, like I said earlier. Now, if you had I'm using the word had if you had at that time excluded yourself from the classes, then you would have had the right to obtain an attorney or lawyer and sue HireRight on your own. But then that's pocket coming out of your money. And if you don't have any income and no job, then you really can't do anything about it. Because I haven't heard of any pro bono lawyers that can take on this type of case. So if you get this check and you deposit it into your checking account, there's nothing you can do about it. It's over with. The case ended on December 21st, 2011. It was settled at that time. But if you did exclude yourself, I'm going to read part of the document that was sent, where he gave you basic information. Matter of fact, I'm going to actually let you see it for yourself, and we can just basically read it. Who is affected by the settlement? And it goes on down and says, how do I know if I'm affected by the settlement? And it says right there, you are a member of the settlement class and are affected by the settlement because you applied for a job where the prospective employer was supplied with a background check generated by the defendant. Now, the defendant is HireRight Solutions, formerly USIS Commercial Services. And they furnished your information to a prospective employer without you knowing about it. So right there it says, I'll read it again. You are a member of the settlement class and are affected by the settlement because you applied for a job where the prospective employer was supplied with a background check generated by the defendants. And you continue to read on down your information again. And it says, your legal rights and options in this settlement. Do nothing. If the court approves the settlement, a check in the amount between $10 and $55.27 will be mailed to you. Exclude yourself. You remove yourself from participation in the class action and do not receive a benefit from the settlement. However, you retain any right to file a separate lawsuit against any of the defendants. If you choose this option, it is important that you promptly seek an attorney because of the time-sensitive nature of claims under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Simply saying, you have a limited time if you had done that. Object. You remain a class member, but write to the court and explain why you don't think the settlement is fair, reasonable, or adequate. And again, if you ask the question, why did I receive this notice? A court authorized the notice because you have a right to know about a proposed settlement in this class action suit and about all of your options before the court decides whether to give final approval to the settlement. This notice explains the lawsuit, the settlement, and your legal rights. Judge George A. Gidney Jr. of the United States District Court of Eastern District of Virginia is overseeing this case, this class action. The case is known as Ryals versus HireRight Solutions, and that's the same information. I mean, you can pretty much read it for yourself right there. And at the same time, they give you all this other information. But as I was saying earlier, the case now is over with unless you excluded yourself. If you did not exclude yourself from this case, that is the reason why you received one of these postcard checks in the mail. Now, when I received this notice, the last part of July of 2011, I read it thoroughly because I wanted to know everything that was taking place, because I know it did affect me. Because when I was released from my job in 2008, because I worked for a deco, and I was assigned to Wicks in Gastonia, North Carolina. And I noticed when I looked at that document, it said that the filing date of the background check was September the 8th, 2007. At that time, I was still employed. That means someone got a hold of the information. After they get that information, I was probably terminated from my job. That's probably not the only factor that I was terminated, but I'll show you some more information. When I went to apply for unemployment benefits, at first my employer was going to try to deny me my benefits. But when I stood up for myself, and I said that I was going to fight for this, I fought for my benefits, unemployment benefits it is, and I got it. And the Employment Commission sent me this letter. I'm going to show it to you right now. And you go to the very top, it says docket number 24008, determination by adjudicator, claimant Willie Easter Jr. At that time, I lived at 307 North Moore Street, Gastonia, North Carolina. And it says determination, claimant is not disqualified from benefits. That's right up at the top. Reason, claimant's last work for Osteen Staffing, if I'm pronouncing that correct, on January 10th, 2008. Claimant filed an NIC claim effective January 6, 2008, which has been continued through February 2nd, 2008. Claimant was separated from his job due to unknown reasons. Conclusion. You get the NCGS and 96-14-2 provides an individual shall be disqualified for benefits for the duration of his unemployment if it is determined by the commission such individual is unemployed because he was discharged for misconduct connected with the work. And it goes on down. The NCGS provides an individual shall be disqualified for a period of not less than 4 or more or 13 weeks if it is determined by the commission such individual is unemployed because he was discharged for circumstantial fault on his part connected with his work, not rising to the level of misconduct. And this is what they found. Based on the foregoing, it is concluded claimant was discharged, but not for misconduct or circumstantial fault connected with the work. So you see, when I was separated from my job in 2008, it was due to no misconduct on my behalf. Because I was there on the job, doing my job like I'm supposed to be doing. Was never late. They tried to claim that I was late 22 times, but when they actually pulled the time card records, it wasn't there. I even challenged them. I said, well, if I was supposedly late 22 times, how about pulling the time card record? Because we had a time card. This is what we had right here. I still got it in the box. I kept everything, and it's got a barcode on the back. Once you go into Wix, you slide it. It keeps 2 records. It keeps an electronic record and also keeps a hard copy record. The electronic record is kept on the computer. And there's also a hard copy record. I said, well, if I was late 22 times, pull those records and prove it to me. Those records never materialized. So you see, in that case, that's why I want all my benefits. I just want to show you that. But getting back to this check, again, the check is real, but you have to deposit it. And the reason why you get this check, because you did not exclude yourself from the settlement. Therefore, they're slapping you in your face and giving you $65.18, just like me. The case ended December 21st or 22nd of 2011. And out of thousands and thousands of people who got one of these checks, I was so surprised that only 27 people, including myself, objected to this lawsuit and get the objections in on time. There was another 7 people who objected after the cutoff date. So you have 27 and 7, you put it together. That's all the amount of people who objected to this case. Other people, I think, I'm not being judgmental towards anybody, probably thought it's just a scam. Because a lot of people think this check's a scam. It's not. It's an actual settlement. And that the case is not closed. If you did not exclude yourself and you get this check, the case is not closed to you. You're no longer legally bound to sue HireRight Solutions, formerly known as USIS Commercial Services. And you notice one thing? You ain't heard not one word of this on any media outlet. Not one word had been mentioned. And I was surprised that I actually was the only one who put a video about it. I wasn't trying to be no celebrity or get no success out of it. I was just trying to find out was there any other individuals out there that they got this notice. And now I see there's a lot of people who got this notice, probably discarded it, probably just threw it away. And then they received this check, which $65.18. And you notice on the check, it says void if not negotiated within 45 days of issue. They only give you 45 days to cash, actually deposit into your banking account, or checking account, or whatever account you get. You got 45 days to put it in there. After that, you're probably going to do nothing about it. Well, thanks again for listening. And also, if you look at the top of the piece that you tear off, it's also giving you more information, which I pretty much already said, but I'll say it again. It said this payment is tendered to you as a class member in Ryals versus HireRight Solutions and Company. And I remember three different class action suits against them. You had three different people. Smith versus HireRight Solutions and Henderson versus HireRight Solutions. That's the three different class action suits that was against HireRight Solutions. And a lot of these people had no background records. They had no criminal background records. And they were denied jobs. For us who actually had background records, our information was being sold illegally. And they made a profit off of it. Now I sort of wonder also, how much money did they actually make by selling our information? And the sources they get the information from is, like here in North Carolina, I noticed on the document, the background check that I received back in 2008, their source was the North Carolina Court of Administrators. They simply probably went on some database, pulled that information out of the court system, sold it to prospective employers without us knowing about it, and made money. At the same time, got thousands and thousands of people out of work, kept them from actually getting a job so they can make a profit. I want to thank everyone that commented. I especially want to thank Poker Points for sending me that information about the closing of the case. I appreciate that because I was looking for that. And it also had the 27 individuals that objected this settlement, and my name did appear in the objection, being a part of the 27. So, for all those who asked the question, is the check for real? Yes, it is. Because I went out yesterday and I deposited my this is a $65.18 check into my checking account, and this is a receipt. That's why it says non-void. It's valid. I mean, I made a copy of it because I want to keep it. I'm gonna frame it too. This is what people do when they think you can't fight back. You can't do anything about it. They can make money off of you, prevent you from getting a job. This one guy, if you go ahead and you read some of the comments on my videos, one's entitled Easterj, a federal court order notice, and the other one is the update to the HireRight case and settlement. If you get the chance, take your time and read the comments. One guy said he went through a heartache and hardship, he lost his house, everything, simply because he couldn't get a job, even though he was qualified for it. But when he received this notice, I think soon after that he was terminated from his job because they ran a background check on him. And HireRight Solutions was the company that actually done the background check and presented his employer with negative information, causing him to lose his job. And they're going to send him a check for $65.18. Just like another guy said, this is a slap in the face. And again, I haven't heard or seen this on any local news or national news. Thanks for listening. My name is Willie Easter Jr., and this is Easter Dream Films and Books. Peace.